Angelic teaching level 4, session number 9. Time flies, huh? All right, let's get into it. It's time for us to embrace everything we've been learning, everything we've been discovering, rediscovering. So I'd like you to feel, to perceive, to enhance your gifts as we're going to be walking through this session. For you to feel more and more connected with everything around, surrounding you. Focusing on your breathing, focusing on your thoughts, your emotions. Acknowledging your thoughts as they come through as well. Deal with your emotions as they will come and resonate with any energy work. Be present in the moment. Be the energy flow as well as being every single thing on which you act or see or sense. It's like as soon as you step into the energy world, it's like you step in a multiverse of universe, not just one, but multiple universes at the same time. Let's get into it. Look into my eyes. Remember some of the teachings that we've been doing. We started right away by increasing your gifts and your abilities, releasing things, and then giving there and there some explanations. Here we do the opposite. We've been walking through piece and pieces there and there, giving a lot of explanations, settings there and there, adjusting things in order then for the masterpieces of sessions, being able to put everything all together. It does make sense, right? At the start, there's not much to do than just go in the water and start to play around with it in order to learn how to swim. And then you want to be working more and more precisely on one detail, one breathing, one move, one hip. And then you want to reinforce some muscles, specific muscles, to gain speed. Remember that the visions that you see now are important. They are significant to your development, to your pursuit of your progress, your spiritual path. They might be symbolic. Find stability within. Remember, as you work on multi-different factors, it's almost like being on a boat. You've got the energy moving sideways as well in the other direction. You really want to find stability. That's where you bring in those stable, static stars, those reference points, those anchoring points. You've got a lot of tools now to play with. The most important thing now is to know when to use them and with which intensity to use them. And that takes practice. How to adjust your speed to the curve when you drive your car. You let go of the gas just before the turn, and then as you get in the curve, a third way through the curve, you start increasing the gas, pressing on the pedal for the car to stick to the road. It's all about timing. When to use what tool and with which intensity to use it. And what would be the next one. Imagine you being like a DJ. Playing those songs one after the other, part of those songs. Always listening to the next song you will be playing. And at the same time, displaying, showcasing, broadcasting the songs that you've been already editing. So you're always working ahead of what is going on. That's very similar to the type of work we do. Remember to be always open to find messages, contents, informations, analogies in fields that apparently might not be related. That's also very important. You might be wishing at some point to take notes of what we talk here about. You might be at one point wanted to create your own bullet points, create your own tools. Different ways of doing it. You can be very scholar and go back into Angelic healing certificate and go from session number 1, go through all of your teachings. Or you feel drawn to go, for example, Angelic teaching 3, session number 4. 10 minutes from the start. And you just play those 5 minutes, from 10 minutes to 15 minutes. Because you feel that's what you need, just to get back on that part. consider these teachings as resources. Resources that you feel guided towards. And if at one point you get stuck and you need an answer, just meditate on the question, the answer that you're looking for. And do that simple thing, connecting to whatever teaching you feel like being connected with the same methodology that I just gave you before. And you will find your answers. If it's not on the first try, then try the second time or the third one. And I know that within those three, you will find a pattern. Within this pattern, you will be able to either come up with the tool that will be reminded to you, or you will be creating a new tool from those three aspects. Remember, it's all about perceptions and visions, looking from one angle or another. When you feel stuck and trapped and not knowing what to do, the best thing to do is to take a piece of paper and jot down all your resources where you are. It works. What do you have left? Imagine someone steals your wallet and you are in a foreign country. First thing to do is to see what's left. You still have money, you still have your passport, you still have some keys, you still have batteries, you have your phone. And you work it from there. We most of the time forget how resourceful we are and how many different options are there. Most of the time I see people thinking from what they have and limiting themselves from there. No. What you have is a start, and most of the time you neglect everything you have. You're still in any country, well, guess what? Maybe you've got nothing, no belongings, nothing. You still have your gifts. You can make money out of it. You can have food from that. I've seen people looking at projects and they say, well, I don't have the money to finance that. It's a nice project, but I can't afford that. They limit themselves because they think too small. What if you suddenly realize that you've got these amazing opportunities to bring investors in it and bring other people and making different shares, having a part of this and pulling out all your different resources with those people will increase as well your network. I'm not saying that you have to expect challenges and desire to them to be manifested in your life. I'm saying, what would it take for you to embrace all possibilities when you've got any event coming into your life? Making the best out of it. Yes, changes involve risks. Yeah. I agree. It's also one way to find yourself being alive. How many friends of mine look at one girl passing by and say, wow, she's cute. And I look at them and say, well, you find her cute. You're single. Why don't you go for it? Ah, come on. What do you mean, come on? like her, you want to know her better, just give it a try. Well, it's the exact same thing that happens when you're facing an energy war. You've got this bright, amazing idea that pops up, and you have no idea on how to implement it, on how it's going to work. You've got this sudden image that pops up, some memory, a word. If you shut that down, like changing the radio station and going to something totally different because the mind kicks in, you lose it. You feel how I'm working from within. Everything is being changed from inside. I want you to perceive as well that I'm using less and less my hands. I want you to progressively be able to do that. Feeling your waves as they were moving. Feeling the tensions on your body, on your shoulders, as you were moving your hands, expanding it, putting asymmetric forces on your hands to create these inner tensions, and pulling in energy, pulling out, extracting, transforming. That's the next step. Remember as well, we want our healings to be simple. We don't want to make patterns too complicated. We want to be right to the core. A healing, a transformation, you have to understand that it doesn't have to be difficult. It doesn't have to be tiring. As soon as you find the rope on one, the knot on one rope, it only takes a few seconds to loosening it up. You just have to feel guided to find the one thing to act on, to release this, transform that. The breathing part helps. Clarity of thoughts. I told you that I like to not eat prior to doing specific sessions. Work with different frequencies. Change, alter the frequencies that you're used to work with. Define them better. Be more precise with your tastes. Start to be classy the way you work. Making a cut, taking things away, transforming them. Be precise on your cuts. Sharpen your tools. Be more and more precise on when starts this vortex, when it ends, how it ends. Define the borders of your frames, of your white frames. Look at the angles of the borders, how they're sharp. Do you want to run them? All those different details. The texture, the fabric of your different visions. It's like tweaking the parameters in a company in order to make it smooth, to increase its sales, to work with customer service. It's about focusing on the package itself, choosing the right materials for the package. Defining the materials, the ink, the density of it, the brightness of it, the print. If it's going to be embossed or not. Again, it's all about finding the right balance between the content and the way you deliver the content. People are very, very sensitive to how you present things, how you introduce things. The same way, you will find as well people who do the same similar work as you, but you will find that they work totally differently than you. Some you will admire their skills and their ability to do things. And those are usually the things that you already master from within and you're not just aware of. It's a nice way to discover our own gifts. When you look up to someone, it's looking towards your potential. Something that's there within you that you just wish to express, to increase, to enhance. And you will find the other way around, where you will feel that this person, this healer or this psychic, you will feel annoyed by the way they work. Maybe they put too much focus on advertising themselves. And otherwise you will find them that they are too descriptive, or they are not creative enough, or they only work on the past or on the pains, or they work too much on the future or not giving enough information on the present. Or that the energies is rough, or there's too much charge with other types of energies of theirs, or they don't transform well enough. You will soon realize that you're becoming more and more picky about the people who are going to be close to you, and that you allow them to be working on you. It's you being able to notice the differences from one person to another. And you may be interacting physically with those people, or sometimes just having their names written on a list. It's a good way to do as well to test yourself is to go to an event such as the Mind Body Spirit Expo and just take the brochure, the leaflets, and pick up intuitively what you get. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? How strong they are? How connected they are? Some will be more medium than healers. Some will be more psychics or more tarot readers. You'll find yourself wondering what's the difference between all those different words and terms. And you might want to look into it and do some research on your own. Googling things, concepts, ideas. Maybe one of those healers is great in explaining the way it works and introducing his work to others who are not familiar to it. Sometimes it will definitely annoy you because you will feel that there is so much to learn. And also, some people have different lives than yours. Some are doing it full-time, some others are doing it only part-time. Some only are doing the psychic events and not doing anything else because they've got another job. Some don't even need to have a job. Everyone has a different path. You will find as well that some are followers. Some are creating things and creating their own modalities. Some are using the modalities of others for their own purpose or for their own research. Some others are collectors. They just go from one technique to another and they just create lists on their leaflets of all the different modalities that they master. Different ways. Some others are going more for media. Some others are going to be specifically working with individuals, or others with groups. Some others going towards teachings. Some having a local range of activities, some others are going to be more widely known. What counts is where you stand, where you are, where you feel comfortable. Of course, there is always where you are right now and where you wish to be, where you see yourself to be. And if the gap is too big, then yes, it creates tensions, it creates frustrations. Because you might be feeling limited by different factors. Family, time, resources, your age, your health, your finances, your knowledge, your sensitivity and how to handle it. How do you take care of all those different parameters, right? How do you handle all of that? How do you embrace all of that? You have to be patient. You have to be grateful. Some people just start and within 2 years they're already at level 4. Some people do it in even less time. And you've got the one who just goes through all the teachings, all the things, but doesn't apply anything. Just to get a stamp on his document saying, well, I've done this course and that one. You reach here the level 4. I know you've been putting a lot of focus and energy into it. I know your self is different. You know yourself better now than you used to 1 year ago. It's part of the journey. It is part of the journey. There will be moments of doubts, obviously, where you just don't know if you made the right choice, or if you would have made different other choices, where would you be? I don't know about that. I like to believe that everything is perfect. Yes, things could have been tweaked. I do believe that a relationship that ends had to end for one reason or another. Maybe it could have ended differently, maybe in a smoother way. Maybe there were words exchanged that could have been skipped, or other ones being chosen instead. Remember, we talked about dissociating ourselves and being able to relate to other things. Well, it works the same way with our own life. You will probably have people coming towards you, matching events and choices that you had to face. And you being the one giving advice, like you were giving advice to yourself. Always be sure that you don't project your own beliefs in it, and you really adapt yourself to what this person in front of you is looking for. Let's increase the intensity. The energy that we are working right now with, it's almost like the sauna energy. It's humid, it's hot, it purifies, cleanses, makes us feeling a little bit dizzy because of the temperature, makes us soft. Your heartbeat increases as well. It's almost like you can feel your fingertips swelling as well with the increase of temperature and your skin being more relaxed. I know, how strange is that? We never work with that frequency. Well, you know what's the next feeling and energy that we're going to be working with if we work with that one. Let's dive into it. The next energy is icy cold water, going from one frequency to the other. The breathing is totally different. You can feel almost the cold energy coming through as you breathe in and breathe out. It's like being surrounded with water, cold water. Feeling all your muscles, all your different parts of your body being tightened as your cells are contracting. Feel those changes, those physical changes inside of your body. I'm so happy we're recording all those different frequencies and workshops. Imagine that you can just replay this sequence of the last 5 minutes again and again in loop. It's just amazing. Having just from 5 minutes, having like a 40-minute workshop just on one specific frequency and extending it as much as you want. Now let's bring you back to normal energy. Imagine it's like going through a sweat lodge, feeling the heat at very, very high temperatures. And then cooling down, going from one extreme to another. Your body will go through that when you do the healings. Going from one extreme to another, and the way you handle it is going to have different effects. Astronauts, they work with forces, gravitational forces, and they work through machines where they go very, very fast, being able to bear pressures and to be able to go from one type of density to another very quickly. It works the same way. You have to train your body. I like when people tell you, well, it's only a 40-minute reading, or it's only a 1-hour reading or healing. Yeah, how many hours of preparations before that? How many hours of trainings? How many hours of building up your self-confidence and your faith? I'd like for you to acknowledge all the path you made, all the commitments you've done, all the different visions, and remembering your first readings, your first energy work, your first perceptions, your first vortex, your first challenges, acknowledging them, being grateful for them as they build up who you are, and honoring your guides, mentors. It's all due to you. You made it happen. So thank you. Wish you all the best. Talk to you soon.